My name is Ashley M.
And my name is Ashley W.
And this is Internship and Career Readiness, brought to you by Gwinnett County Public Library. This program will have two sections. One will be concerned with internships, and the second part will talk about the skills you can gain from your first job. Whether you're in high school looking for chances to expand your knowledge, or in college trying to reach your future career goals, we hope this program has a little something for everyone.
So what is an internship? According to Wikipedia, an internship is a period of work experience offered by an organization for a set amount of time. They are undertaken by students primarily to gain relevant work experience in a particular field. They are similar to apprenticeships. You may already have some background on internships. Maybe you've already applied for some or participated in one. Think about what you learned from those experiences. Even if you haven't started the process yet, but are interested, think about what you are looking to gain. This will help you to determine what kind of internship would benefit you the most, and then you can focus on how to have your internship application be successful. In the next few slides, we'll go more in depth about the different types of internships, what you can gain from them, and how you can prepare for one now. For the purposes of this program, we are going to use these four types of internships. Those are paid and unpaid internships, and then those internships that are exclusively for either high school or college students. There are definitely some overlap between these categories, and adults who are not in school can also be interns. According to the Department of Labor, internship is different from employment because of the expected educational component, so it is not required that an internship be paid. However, this is something you should consider when weighing the benefits of an internship.
The distinction between high school and college level internships is important because it determines how many hours and when those hours take place. Child labor laws limit work hours for those under 16 to 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., with no more than 4 hours allowed on a school day and 8 hours on a non-school day. You also cannot work during typical school hours. These rules apply whether you attend public, private, or homeschool. Over 16, these rules may not apply at all. Thus, college students in most situations are not limited by number of hours. Be sure to fully read the requirements of any internship you're interested in. Some may require enrollment in college or be limited to high school students. Internships are usually done in sessions, much like semesters with fall, winter, summer, and spring internships. However, even though they occur in those 4 sessions, it may still benefit you to turn in your application as soon as you're ready. Other organizations may evaluate applications on a rolling basis, which means that they may look them over as they receive them. While you're definitely able to find internships through your school's Career Center, we'll be going over more resources in a later slide. So stay tuned.
Based on the different types of internships, such as paid and unpaid, it may seem like volunteering. In the next slide, we'll look at how the two things differ. Let's start by thinking about what you look for when you're volunteering. That'll get us started on talking about those differences. Volunteers donate their time and efforts for a cause or to contribute to causes without the promise of compensation or gain. In contrast, internships do have the expectation that the work will tie directly to your field of interest. If you're interning at a company, you are gaining specific skills that are relevant to the needs of that specific organization or field. We already talked a little bit about paid and unpaid internships. Volunteers are never paid, which is part of why volunteering looks so good on applications. It shows that you're invested in contributing to the positive growth of your community or a cause. An internship may or may not turn into a job offer, but it will still prepare you for a future in that industry. Job offers are more rare than with volunteering.
However, volunteering can still be beneficial if you are having trouble finding an internship or job in your chosen field. For instance, if you want to go into working at a law firm, volunteering your time at a law library or a nonprofit that provides pro bono work may help boost your resume. Or if you're interested in working with animals, volunteering in an animal shelter can help you build skills relevant to that industry, such as the care and patience it takes to provide animals with a clean and social environment. The benefits and value of internships versus volunteering depend largely on what you need from it and what your goals are. In the next slide, we'll look at how you can best prepare for an internship.
There's no one way to land your ideal internship. However, in the next slides, we will look at resources available to help you prepare, locate, and apply for internships in your chosen field. To start looking at the internship opportunities available to you, start with using the resources closest to you. Your school's Career Center or guidance counselor are good resources for getting started with a resume, cover letter, and looking for different opportunities because they can provide advice and connect you with other resources. Of course, GCPL can do something similar. If you go to gwinnettpl.org's or digital resource page, you'll find resources like Ferguson's Career Guidance. If the amount of possibilities seem overwhelming, narrow your choices using those things you're passionate about. Do a deeper dive on the ways those passions can feed into a career field, and then research job descriptions in different fields to gain a better understanding of the education, requirements, and skills needed for those fields. Ferguson's Career Guidance is a great resource that can get you started. Not only can you find internships through this resource, you can also research industries and take a career assessment. You can then make a game plan using the guide in our next slide.
A game plan? While it's important to have a great resume, having a goal and a plan before the search will make the process easier and more effective. This way you can set milestones and deadlines and also figure out who you want to reach out to within your network or who you want to build connections with. So when you're coming up with your game plan, you're going to try and define what kind of internship you really want, whether that is paid, unpaid, and what field it's in. Researching the requirements and work descriptions for internships can help you better craft your resume and cover letter, because that way you'll be able to pull information from those descriptions into your application materials. However, make sure you're doing more proactive methods than just applying by reaching out to recruiters, fellow alumni, or what other possible connections you may have. We're also going to go over networking later on in the presentation. After you've defined what kind of internship you want and what areas you're interested in, you can narrow down where you want to look for these positions. Don't randomly scour every single job board. Be selective and strategic about which ones you want to use. You can utilize large job boards like Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, but there are also industry-specific job boards and even ones that are regional that will help people going to a certain university or living in a certain area. You also want to make a short list of your favorite companies and keep up with their job boards regularly. Make sure you set up job alerts or RSS feeds as well to help you keep up with all of this. Once you start paying attention to these job boards and job descriptions, you can fine-tune your career readiness tools. The tools you will need for applying to these different internships are a resume that highlights your skills and why you're a good fit for the position, a cover letter that backs up the information in the resume with concrete examples and shows your passion for the company. You also want to let a few people know you are applying to an internship, and if you can list them as a reference. It's good to use teachers, previous employers, or volunteer organizers. To keep track of the positions you are applying to, it's a good idea to have a tracking sheet that details when and where you applied to something, as well as spaces for when you want to follow up or when you'll hear back. It's also good to fine-tune your people skills and do some prep work before it's time to shine in your interview.
In the next slides, we'll be going through ways to improve your chances of getting your ideal internship or job. This will include things to avoid as well as tips to best market your skills and experiences. Your resume represents your skills and accomplishments to an employer or organization. Keep your formatting simple with your contact information at the top. You should pull some of the keywords from the job posting directly to use in a skills section, such as being detail-oriented or someone who works well with a team. Then use your work and school experience to elaborate on those skills. For example, what did you use Microsoft Word for? What experience do you have working on teams? Include work or school experience that matches the requirements in the job or internship posting. Both of these will show that you're familiar with the requirements and that your skills match those requirements. Lastly, you will include your education and certificates. If you don't have any work experience, this section may be moved closer to the top.
Okay, so you may be wondering, why do they keep talking about looking at all the keywords and implementing everything? It's because of the ATS trap. So, what is ATS? ATS software helps filter the application based on job titles and the keywords that those HR recruiters put in the job description. The closer you can match up your skills and your materials with that, it's going to get to someone a lot faster. You also want to avoid doing weird columns and formatting because that also throws the ATS systems off. So it might seem like a lot of work or a lot of time to try and implement those things, but in the long run, it'll help you get from software to a real person.
Cover letters essentially let the organization know what you bring to the table and why you're interested in the position. Elaborate on any examples you used in your resume. Match your cover letter to the tone of the company, but err on the side of professional when that tone isn't clear. Here, you will also showcase your knowledge on the company. Take a look at their mission or vision statements, which are usually located on the About section of their website. This can guide you in writing the cover letter, and also, it'll let you know if their values align with your own. Showing that you have done that research may put your application above others. Finish your cover letter with something that invites interaction, such as "Thanks for your consideration, and I hope to speak to you soon," or "I would love to meet to discuss and share details on how I might contribute." In the next few slides, Ashley will go more in depth on landing your interview and taking advantage of the connections you have and will be able to build through your internship or job.
When we're talking about networking, it's a big buzzword that basically means meeting with people and connecting with others that can help foster a sense of professional community. However, networking is very intimidating for people starting out, and it is a hard skill to develop. So, here are some tips that will help you. So, because it's such an intimidating task, you can start off with baby steps. Start out with asking family and friends, but make sure you're specific about what you're looking for. You don't want to say, "I'm looking for an internship in writing," and getting posts for magazine stuff when what you really want to do is work with a publishing house. For professional contacts, it's important to keep the message short while also offering to return the kindness. You want to make it to where your request isn't asking for something huge and make it easy for them to say yes. A common thing is to ask, "Well, I can buy you a cup of coffee if you have a few minutes to talk about something," or if you have just a couple of questions you want to ask. The keys to networking are being clear, specific, being respectful of others' times, and making it easy for them to say yes. It's also good if someone does help you out to follow them up with a thank you note and keeping them in the loop about your job search. If you want to expand your network even more beyond family and friends or just the few people you know, you still have a lot of avenues for that. LinkedIn is a great resource where it actually connects you with or shows you connections with the people you already know. So like the degrees of 1, 2, 3 separation. There's also fellow classmates or alumni you can ask. If you're a member of any type of guild or professional association, that could be an avenue for you as well. You can also practice just talking with people and your networking skills by attending conferences, meetups, those membership association events, or also by doing informational interviews. So let's say you survived the ATS trap, you did some amazing networking, and you were able to score a job interview. So the next step is making sure you go into that interview as prepared as possible. You'll want to research the company and people you're interviewing with. Pay attention to any news that might have come out about that company so you're up to date with what's going on. You can also check sites like Glassdoor to see what kind of questions they ask people in interviews. You can also do a practice mock interview where you record yourself on camera so you can see if there's anything where you're being stiff or saying or a lot. Another thing is you want to come in prepared, so handle all your logistics beforehand. Choose your outfit, print out copies of your resume, make sure you know the interview details. What time is it? How far it's going to take to get there? And if it's a virtual interview, any information that you need to log on. Also making sure that you have proper computer and internet for that as well. Now, let's say you got there ahead of schedule and you're all ready to go. Maintain a professional and polite manner with everyone from the receptionist to the HR manager. You never know who knows each other within that company. So if you come in late and you're like in a hurry and snippy with the receptionist, that can reflect badly on you as an applicant later on. Work to answer questions with the job task in mind. If you stumble or mess up, you can ask to start the question over again. If the question doesn't make sense, you can ask them to clarify. Don't be afraid to do that because it'll help you answer the questions better. Also, try to make the conversation enjoyable for both of you. It's probably going to be a long day for the people interviewing you. So if anything you can do to kind of like lighten the mood or make it more enjoyable is great. Also, make sure you ask about the next steps in the process so that way you have an idea of when you're supposed to hear back. Also, make sure you send a thank you note after the interview, ideally within a few hours after the interview. Also, if you don't hear from them in that time frame that they gave you for next steps, you can follow up. Just be short and courteous. And if you don't get the job, don't burn the bridge. You can send a message thanking them and saying you'd like to be kept in mind for future opportunities.
Now, all of this seems like a lot for an internship.
However, it is important because it's setting you up for early career success. All of these tips can be used in your search for a quote unquote real job.
It's all right to be unsure about what you want to do or to change your mind later. An internship will give you the opportunity to decide whether the career is a match for you. To utilize the benefits of an internship, you need to be interested in the field and find one that will support your growth, using the internship itself, the company, and the mentors you find there. Even if you find that you aren't interested in pursuing that field, you'll still build those connections and skill sets that can be relevant elsewhere. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, not only do internships aid in finding full-time employment, they also increase potential salaries, specifically for those internships which are paid. Keep in mind that those statistics may be influenced by the field those internships take place in as well. Unpaid internships still provide knowledge on the field and are correlated with positive academic performance, so don't discount them altogether. You get real opportunities to work in the field you have chosen, thereby developing the skills that will aid you in finding a position in that field later, as well as developing contacts within that field. Having those references and connections can really impact your ability to land your dream job. In the next few slides, we'll delve a bit deeper into developing your career.
So, like Ashley said, even though it seems like a lot of work to do to prepare for an internship, it will help with those transferable skills for a first job. However, there are some differences. For an internship, you're still in a position where you're learning the job. You're not expected to be an expert, but you're learning on your way, like picking up different things. Whereas for a first job, there's the expectation of being more knowledgeable. Maybe by then you've finished your degree. Also, for internships, it's probably going to be less hours and less or no pay due to your other commitments. Meanwhile, a full-time job or even a part-time job is going to be more hours and pay with some benefits, ideally. For internships, you'll probably be doing smaller tasks like running errands or handling paperwork, whereas for a first, quote unquote, like we said, real job, you're going to have higher stakes with the tasks you're being given. And there's also probably going to be more work boundaries that you have to navigate with like the system of like who's your supervisor versus your coworkers and other things going on. For instance, in an internship, you may have a mentor, someone who will be guiding you in developing your skills, while in a job, your manager is not necessarily your mentor. They can guide you, but they're really just to make sure you stay on task with what you're supposed to do. But no matter whether you're in the internship phase or your first job phase, make sure you're developing skills that will further your personal growth and prepare you for your future. If you are having trouble making that leap from internships to a first job or just getting something in your field, consider taking classes or getting a degree or certification that will help you. So if you want to go into game design, obviously you'll need to take classes on coding and other things. And there are a lot of options out there. You don't have to enroll in the most expensive program. There are online courses and things at a lower cost that you can do. Also, make sure to reach out to your social and professional networks to find out about potential opportunities. In addition to utilizing the tips we've mentioned in this course about resumes, cover letters, and where to search for jobs. Ways you can set yourself up for success in your first job is making a plan for your first 30 days. So when you first get there, don't think you're going to overhaul everything and be the savior at your job that's going to fix everything. First, you want to get a lay of the land without engaging in gossip. Just see how things work, how things operate. Maybe make notes of things you think could be changed or ideas that you have. And then you can follow up with your supervisor with one-on-ones, asking if there are any areas of improvement and potentially sharing some ideas that you have. Also, you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself personally, making sure you're getting enough rest and keeping your stress level down so you can succeed at work on a daily basis.
If you still need a little help, there's no shame in needing more. There are so many resources, it was tough picking a few. As a reminder, all GCPL resources can be accessed from gwinnetpl.org/digital-resources. If you select Job and Career, it will pull up the most relevant resources, but feel free to just look around. When you click on a resource, have your library card number and PIN ready to gain access. I've already mentioned Ferguson's, but I'll do so again because it's a one-stop shop for internships and it's right there on the front page. Job and Career Accelerator is a free tool that helps you build a resume and cover letter. Learning Express Library is great for testing assistance and research. Furthermore, take a look through Gale courses and tutor.com to improve on your skills independently and with help. Both are free with your library card. Here's some more resources. USA Jobs is primarily for, you guessed it, jobs, but there are also internship opportunities listed there, so it's worth taking a look. Idealist.org is a site for searching jobs as well as internships. And if you have the means and the permission, you may consider opportunities abroad. In contrast, career.georgia offers opportunities in our state.
That concludes this program. We hope you gained something from it and are able to find some great internships or jobs. If you want to check out more programs like this, you can go to GCPL's YouTube channel.
Thanks for watching.